Mindset Certification Coach. You looking for a certification? How to help? We're going to go through it. When we can live life on our terms, on a holistic level, taking into account not just our business lives, but also our health, all of our relationships, from friends, family, to our partners, the world changes. So if you're considering getting a mindset certification, where do you go and what does amazing look like for that? Well, at Life on Your Terms, we actually offer a certification, but I'm going to go through and talk to you about a few things on how you can do this right off the bat on your own. So first off, when we talk about mindset, I think that every individual, organization, couple goes through 4 phases in their lives, or not even their lives, at different times. And that's stabilize, visualize, strategize, and execute. Stabilization requires some sort of assessment where we need to start, because if you're not stable, you're never going to be able to visualize, where it's going to go in one ear and out the other. And where mindset tends to really help, where it falls in for people, we're going to hit 5 areas to talk about, is during the assessment phase, during the visualization phase, and then believing in what's possible in the execution phase. So we start initially with balance. And candidly, I don't know that balance can exist anymore, because we've allowed so many devices into our lives that we get hammered with shit all the time. However, a healthy work-life integration is possible. But we first have to be able to have the assessment to define what that looks like. And this is where you can actually start to help people with their mindset on starting to think, how can they transition from a reactive state to a proactive state? And we offer full certification as well as masterminds that help people go through the different parts of this. Now, the book, Life on Your Terms, you can go to our site, lifeon-yourterms.com, talks about this, and it helps people get started. But we start with that balance. Once you start to assess where we are, and people can look at a healthy integration in their life. This is where my relationships, my partner, my friends, my family. Where am I with my health, my physical, my mental, my spiritual? How am I doing with my business? How am I doing with my resources, my time, my talent, my treasure? How do we manage those? And as soon as, first step in mindset, when people start to realize that they can actually control those things and be intentional and proactive, amazing things can start. The second is helping people to start to visualize. Now, traditionally, when I would work with people, and I work with CEOs all over the world, we start talking about, well, I want you to visualize what amazing looks like. And traditionally, people will default to something around money, something around stuff, maybe a vacation, and then their heads kind of explode because they don't have the proper tools to think about all of those things on a holistic, healthy, integrated level. And then we also, and the visualization is key, because this is what are the stories of our past that are holding us from achieving the potential we could be in the future. And helping people transition on those mindset really, really goes a long way. Now, the third thing is when we start helping people to dream. Part of that comes from the visualization, where we transition from the asset, from where we're doing the assessment, stabilization, to visualizing what amazing can look like, helping people to shake off the insecurities of, oh, I can't. I just want people to dream when we're visualizing. If they can just dream. And one of the phrases I love to use is, if you knew you couldn't fail, what would amazing look like? This starts to help people transition in their mindsets. Now, the next step we go through, we have a very specific tool that we help people learn and dream big. So Jim Collins wrote in his book, he talks about a BHAG, a big, hairy, audacious goal. And what we like to do is we call it a life-changing goal. But if you can have a goal, a dream, something huge in your life, and it can be huge on your terms, not according to anybody else, but it helps you to define, what is that pinnacle? Where do I want to go? What do I want to drive to? I want to drive to that summit of that peak, rather than, oh, I'm just going to keep reacting here and meandering there and reacting here and meandering there, and going back and forth and all over. It's those stories that people don't feel they deserve it. It's the head trash they have. It's the imposter syndrome. It's the I'm not good enough. It's the mom-dad stuff. Unfortunately, there's a fair amount of that. But when we can get people to help clearly define, what is that life-changing goal? Where do I want to go? Well, then people really become machines. And it's amazing what they can start to do at that point. We're going to go through then, and we very specifically, and we give you the tools, a whole bunch of tools, to go through and do all of these pieces. How do people define that life-changing goal? And then how do we build a plan so that they can execute it? How can they go out and achieve more than they ever dreamed possible? And I promise you, I have seen this over and over and over again. It's possible, and we teach all this in our courses, as well as if you want to become if you genuinely want to be a certified coach, you will then have access to use all of these tools so that you're certified, you can use it, and in the masterminds, we talk about mindset. We talk about how can we teach these better and how can we become better coaches and facilitators. We also talk about how can we as individuals becoming better so that we're modeling the behaviors that we believe in and that we want to do when we have those masterminds. So when you think about it, how do we initially start people to understand what a healthy work-life integration can look like? We create that assessment. We start to help them stabilize and figure out what are some small steps that they can do to make things better right away. We visualize, teach them how to visualize what amazing looks like. If you knew you couldn't fail, where would you go? Then once we have that, how do we start to rework those stories? What's holding us back? Create that life-changing goal. And on the life-changing goal, I love the Henry Ford statement that says, whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right. How do we get people changing that mindset? And then once you have that LCG, lastly, how do we create that plan so that they can go out and achieve more than they ever dreamed possible? So if you found value in this, please subscribe to this channel. Reach out to us at lifeon-yourterms.com if you have any questions. But more than anything, I love the fact that you're investing the time to look at these things. How are you becoming better? And open to any comments. So keep smiling.